Global growth ambitions are colliding with reality, from Africa's bold new infrastructure push to Saudi Arabia's giga project woes. Meanwhile, Asia and Europe are deepening their economic footprint across the African continent, signaling a global competition for markets, resources, and influence. My name is Eniola Lunge, and here's today's Zoom Out for August 20, where I'll help you see the bigger picture. Construction has begun on East Africa's first ever cross-border standard gauge railway. The $2 billion project connects Uvinza in western Tanzania to Musongati in eastern Burundi. According to Business Insider Africa, the 240-kilometer line is expected to boost trade, reduce transport costs, and unlock the mineral-rich regions of Burundi. This is part of a wider regional integration effort as landlocked Burundi gains direct access to Tanzania's Central Corridor and eventually to the Indian Ocean. Infrastructure like this is catalytic, reducing trade bottlenecks, lowering export costs, and attracting long-term private investment into agriculture and mining. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? East Africa isn't just building tracks, it's laying foundations for deeper regional integration. For global investors, this is a sign that Africa's next phase of growth will be powered as much by connectivity as by commodities. The UK is stepping up its footprint in Africa's resource sector. Blancoe Resources has secured a 5-year deal to supply graphite from Uganda's Oram Cross project, with financing also coming from the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation. Meanwhile, Core Potash, backed by a $2.2 billion partnership with Swiss investor Owi Rams, is advancing the Republic of Congo's Kola Potash project. This follows a broader trend of Western governments and firms intensifying competition with China for Africa's critical minerals. With EV batteries, fertilizers, and green tech demanding more graphite and potash, these agreements tie Africa more tightly into global supply chains. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? Africa is no longer just an extraction zone. It's becoming central to the strategic mineral race. Western re-engagement in African mining signals that resource diplomacy is now firmly back on the geopolitical table. Singaporean companies are quietly but steadily deepening their role in African trade infrastructure. At the Lagos Free Zone in Nigeria, Singapore's Tolaram is offering incentives for firms to establish manufacturing hubs within the zone. According to African Business, this is part of a broader pattern of Singaporean investments in shipping, logistics, and industrial parks across the continent. By embedding themselves in logistics and manufacturing, Singaporean firms are positioning Africa not just as a resource supplier, but as a production base. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? While the West and China dominate headlines, Singapore is playing the long game, building Africa's supply chain capacity that could reshape trade flows in decades to come. Marubeni Corporation finalized its investment in Philips Healthcare Corporation, Philips Pharma, which is now an equity method affiliate. This move expands Marubeni's pharmaceutical business in Africa, adding to its existing involvement in anti-malarial drug development through the Africa Innovation and Healthcare Fund. This investment highlights the growing attractiveness of Africa's healthcare market, which is projected to be worth an estimated $259 billion by 2030. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? From drugs to diagnostics, Asia's big trading houses see Africa's health sector not just as aid-driven, but as a commercial frontier. This shift reframes healthcare as a strategic growth industry. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund has taken an $8 billion hit tied to Neom, its $500 billion giga project. Bloomberg reports that the Trojena ski resort, meant to host the 2029 Asian Winter Games, is struggling due to the region's lack of snowfall. The setback raises broader questions about the viability of Neom's ambitious vision. Investor confidence in Saudi mega projects may take a hit, and the PIF's losses could ripple into other global ventures like SoftBank's Vision Fund. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? Neom's struggles are a cautionary tale. Money can buy ambition, but not geography. For global investors, the lesson is that not all vision projects scale with reality. So the bottom line is this: Africa's economic landscape is being reshaped from the ground up. Railways, resource deals, industrial zones, and healthcare markets are all drawing global capital. At the same time, projects like Neom remind us that not every billion-dollar bet pays off. What story stood out to you today? Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more context with me. When the world zooms in on the noise, I zoom out so you can see the bigger picture.